To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. It's been in the high 80s, upper 90s all week. We've had 2 significant thunderstorms come through this week, and we've been able to run our air conditioner here all week off our solar panels. And what I do is about 11 o'clock, it starts getting pretty hot in there. And so I turn on the air conditioner and I run it off the solar panels until about 4 o'clock. And then if we're still warm, then I just kick over to the generator. And what I've been doing is letting the solar panels charge the battery bank. Everything's charged up, ready to go through the night. And it's not completely off grid because I still got to run the generator, but it's not so bad. I only run it, 3 hours. The generator only uses a gallon of gas every 11 hours. So our air conditioner on our solar panels is working out fabulous. Well, today it's still in the 90s, but as you can see, it's pretty cloudy. When Carolyn starts cooking, we'll start the generator up again, run the air conditioner off the generator. That's really when we need it most. But we've been pretty focused on this winter. We've been cutting deadfall down in the woods. And I thought we were about out of deadfall, but every time I think we're out, I find another tree laying on the ground out there. So I cut it up. And then I bring it up in our little wagon. I got this little, wagon, carries about 900 pounds. And it holds about 5 good-sized logs. Well, I should say it could probably hold more than 5 good-sized logs. That's just the most I can pull up this hill. And then we drop it off over here and we split it with our manual log splitter. I'm trying to be as off-grid as possible. I really do want to get off-grid 100%. I need more solar panels so we can get away from the generator completely. I don't know if I'll ever be able to run the air conditioner on cloudy days, no matter how many solar panels I have. That may be just a dream. As you can see here, we've got a massive amount of firewood. What you're looking at is 3 cords of wood. I think from this angle, you should be able to see I got 2 rows. I got 2 pieces of metal covering, that's 1 row each. I got 2 rows at 24 feet. Now, a cord is 8 feet long, 4 feet wide, 4 feet tall. So I got the 4 feet wide, I got 24 feet long, but I'm about 5 feet high. And the reason I went 5 feet high is some of the logs are shorter than the other logs. I've been trying to cut the logs that I don't have to split in the splitter 2 feet. So 2 logs would make 4 feet. That's part of the dimension. 2 feet fit in our homemade heat exchanger, but 2 feet doesn't fit in the log splitter. So I've been cutting those about, I started cutting them at 14 inches, but I've increased that to 16 inches. That's why I went 5 feet high, just to make sure that I was covered on my cord size. I think that's going to get us through winter quite easily. I think 1 cord is going to get us through winter. That being said, I'm not going to stop. I'm just going to keep going and keep going and keep going. If I can find a tree down someplace, somebody's house, I'm going to ask about cutting their tree up, bringing it over here. Now, as you know, I've been building a tiny house as well, and we've been doing everything on a budget. We have forced ourselves to live on a budget. Just so you know, I figured out that this tree that we've been talking about cutting down is a walnut tree with real walnuts. So we're going to keep that because it looks healthy now that Carolyn has cleared all the vines off of it. It's a real healthy tree. We've taken the fence, somebody tacked a fence to it. So we've taken the fence off of it. Hopefully that won't damage it. And there's actually quite a few walnuts, so we may get some walnuts. But as I was saying, we've been trying to do everything on a budget. We're building a tiny house and we're trying to buy this property. The property was $4,200. We're trying to build the tiny house for $5,000, spending $500 a month, trying not to go over budget. Now last month I went over budget by $100, but I also had to buy the chainsaw and the wood splitter. So the startup cost has been kind of high, so I got to really watch the budget. The most important thing to me is having a substantial savings account and emergency fund. The minute you don't is the minute you're going to really need it. As you know, I've got the floor done on the tiny house. Hopefully around the 23rd of this month, we'll get the door, the windows, and some 2x4s, and maybe we can start building walls. We may not be able to build anything this month, and that's what's kind of disappointing. If we get the door and windows and we spend the $500, we may not be able to get any 2x4s. So I might build one wall just to show progress. I've talked about that before. So I feel like we're really living off grid. Now, when I was a nomad, Carolyn and I traveled the country, and I really never got interested in other nomad channels. Although I had a YouTube channel myself, showing everybody the good, the bad, and the ugly of the nomadic lifestyle. Click subscribe. But Carolyn and I did not enjoy the nomadic lifestyle. We just didn't like it. We did it for 3 years, and we just gave up on it. And we really tried to watch the other nomadic channels. And I just saw a lot of hypocrisy and just the different things that I didn't like about it. So my channel started really focusing on the downside of the nomadic lifestyle, because that's how I felt. I felt like there was a downside to it. And I really wanted to talk to people about being careful, just jumping out there and doing something. Well, now we're living on a homestead. I don't know what to call this. It's a little house off grid. And I don't see a downside to it. There is a downside to doing it on a budget like Carolyn and I are doing, but there's just nothing. I can't see how this is a bad thing. You buy a piece of property and you do your own thing. You're independent on your own property. You can spend as much money or as little money as you want. It's really up to you. But the downside of the nomadic lifestyle was we were all coming out and we were all destroying the national forests, the national parks. Well, this is your property. As long as you're not harming your neighbors, you really have a right to do whatever you want on your property. But when you're in a national forest and you're destroying it for generations. People are going to come out there and see the destruction. So I've been watching other independent channels, homestead channels, not really too many off-grid channels, but definitely homestead channels where they really show this independence of life. And I've found a few very interesting. And I've watched more than one video without getting mad. But there is this one channel that I really have kind of stuck onto. I feel like the guy is a lot like me. He gets aggravated sometimes at his trolls, and he speaks about his trolls. He has this independent nature. He's ingenuitive, really likes trying to fix and build things. He's a master at chainsaw. The channel is called Wranglerstar, and it's a family of 4. They just had a baby a couple years ago, I guess. I guess she's 2 or 3 years old now. They got a teenage son, and they have 100 acres. So the reason I want to point out this channel, they are kind of the opposite of what I'm doing. We're trying to show the independence on a budget. What you can still do, live happy and independent and free, and not have to spend a lot of money. I'm not saying they're rich. I don't know how much money they make. That's not the point of this video at all. You know, they got a tractor. It's a very nice tractor. It's 4-wheel drive. They got all kinds of implements. They got a snow plow and a brush hog. They got a post hole digger. They have, I think they have a scoop, a dirt scoop. They also have a log scooper that comes in and grabs the logs, picks them up. So it's a really nice tractor. He does a lot of testing of tools. He's got a Stihl chainsaw. I guess it's the professional model. They have been doing this for 9 years, I believe. I looked at their oldest video and it was 9 years old. They have 1.55 million subscribers. Very successful channel. And what I've noticed is a lot of those real old channels tend to be very successful because the longer YouTube has been a thing, the harder it is to grow on YouTube. I wanted to show you the flip side to homesteading, not on a budget. I'm sure they have a budget, but it doesn't seem to be as restrictive as my budget. You know, $500 a month to build a tiny house. Whereas he'll build a whole project in one video. Well, I'm going to spread my videos out over 10 months. You know, maybe his budget is, okay, I'm going to spend the $5,000 this month and we'll build a tiny house. And then next month I'll spend another $5,000 and build something else. I don't know. And I haven't watched all his videos. They homeschool. Now, there again, I homeschooled my daughter I adopted my daughter when I was 28 years old. I met her when she was still 1. I adopted her when she was 2. We sent her to college when she was 14 years old. She graduated, I think, when she was 20 or 21 years old with 2 degrees, one in psychology and one in English. So I was hoping that you would all go check them out. But maybe you could just say, hey, Little House Off Grid did a shout out on you. But I really do enjoy his videos, and I wanted to make sure that I got an opportunity to let you know to go check him out, because that shows the 2 extremes. One that has a great budget that can do a lot with homesteading, and then myself that has a limited budget, and to show you we can do the same thing just differently. I'll put a link down to his channel below, so go check him out. Thanks for watching.